Ladies and gentlemen, gods and goddesses in training, welcome back to the channel. It is Uncle Makara, all relations. Let's get started today with a new topic. This time we're talking all about the manipulation that is going on against us behind the scenes, and they probably don't want you to watch this video, okay? And this video is going to attract a lot of conspiracy theorist people. So I just want to be mindful and have you read the disclaimer before we begin this discussion, okay? This is purely an exploration. It's from my own research, it's from my own perspectives. Take what I say with a grain of salt. This is all for entertainment, okay? Let's get started. Let's get started. So first and foremost, I want to share this with the tribe. All right. And if you're not a part of the Telegram group, definitely try and join the Telegram group, guys, because there will be a lot of like different things, sessions you can see when we're live and so forth. Okay. So it's a good idea to join. All right. So by the time people realize what I am, I'll be something else. Okay. And this is the thing, the mindset of the elites is constantly shape-shifting depending on the culture and depending on the norms of the time. There's always a narrative being written behind the scenes. Okay. Now, someone asked me a question. Bendy Oceans, I believe, asked me a question about this. And they said, I'm just reading out the question. They said, these people at the top making up languages, making up maps, making up false history, making up false reference frame of outer space. Do they want us dead, in your opinion? Are children being taught that they're descendants of monkeys on some endless cannonball journey all over the world? Or is it just in Western civilization? Okay. So, how to crush that little doubt demon, dodge their psychic chokeholds, right? Keep shining so bright. You got to squint. They got to squint just to look your way, right? Damn, that's too bright. Okay. That's too bright. See, what they're doing, my friend, is they're banking on your hesitation. They're profiting off of you not having the self-love and second guessing yourself. So they build temples out of your self-doubt, hoping you stay stuck, bowing at the altar of who am I to do this? But here's the heresy they hope you never hear. You're already that. You're already chosen. You don't need permission, right? Signed by their crusty old hands. You just need a gold star from your deities, right? From your spirit guides, because you are the gate, okay? Your birthright is movement, momentum, mastery. So here's the real game. Stop waiting to feel ready. Stop asking if you're worthy. You're not here to audition. You're just here to show up and arrive, okay? Like crashing down a plane, right? Land in the plane. You're just landing the plane. That's all you're doing. Crushing the doubt, dodging the suppression, winning anyway, and doing it so gracefully that they can't decide if they should hate you or worship you. Okay. 1 second, guys. Okay. It's responding to a message. So, how's everybody doing? Let me just see if anybody's in the live chat. All right, all right. 2 people watching. What's up, guys? So, I think I'll talk a little bit about this, how to be uncancelable, how to be uncancelable. You want to be uncancelable. Don't be addicted to applause. And then you won't fear the silence. See, the ones who get canceled are the ones that built their house on validation. But when you build on truth, when your roots are so in your soul, it's not in their approval anymore, right? That makes you earthquake proof. Okay. They can cancel your invites, right? Champ Pack, what's up? They can cancel your shows. Hell, they can even cancel your account, right? But they can't cancel that divine conviction that you have of self-gnosis, self-knowledge, right? They can't take that away. They can't cancel that. They can't delete your essence. You see? They can't shadow ban a Vajra clarity. Okay? Earthquake proof, absolutely. Radiating out your own damn aura, right? So you stay uncancelable when you're willing to lose the crowd. Period. Right? But never losing your center. When your message doesn't come from please like me, and your message starts to come from this is the medicine, whether you can swallow it or not. Period. Okay? You want to be uncancelable, then stop selling out and start standing up. Truth is the last thing that they can't kill. Right? Truth is the last thing that they can't kill. And the wild ones, the sacred fools, the priest and priestess beasts, we know. We know how to dance with the exile and still shine, right? We're cancel proof. We're outlaws, outcasts, right? We're chaos fed and we're clarity led. Okay, so that's a dangerous combo. Okay, if you're already on this channel and you're getting these downloads, you're like, dang, I guess I gotta stay unbannable, stay undeniable, right? You're just like, all righty then. Okay, now that's how you stay uncancelable. So win anyway, right? Do it so gracefully that they can't decide if they should hate you or worship you. Blessed be the unbothered. Blessed be the unshakable. Blessed be to the one who remembers that you were never meant to bow only to blaze. Hallelujah. Okay. So these cartographers of control, the elites, the ones that draw the maps, define the borders, they write the history books, they invent the language that shapes your thoughts even before you have a chance to question them, the ones who tell you what's real, what's up, what's down, where you came from, what you're worth, right? These are the same folks who handed you some kind of a cosmic fairy tale that you're just some happy accident, right? You're a monkey's cousin strapped to a rock, as this person said, Ben the Ocean said, right? Cannonballing through infinite space for no reason whatsoever. No story, no soul, just dust. So do they want you dead? That was his question to me. Do they want you dead? Nah, family. Death would be too merciful. Death would be too merciful for them. They want you docile. They want you disconnected. They want you so hypnotized by their little theater of science and progress that you never once stop to feel the thunder in your chest that says, I am divine. I am actually more than this. Because you knew, if you really knew that your breath was holy, that your body is a temple, that your imagination is the architect of worlds, right? As Uncle Makara peers through the background of this thing, right? You'd never bow to their games again. And now he was asking, is this programming in the West? Mostly, yeah, but don't get it twisted. The virus of disconnection is global, right? So it's going to leak. It's going to spread to all the corners of the earth. It sells textbooks everywhere that it can. Anywhere the story becomes, you were small, you were powerless, you were random. there's the hand of the same beast. But here's your antidote. Remember, you are not some cosmic orphan, okay? You are not just some monkey on a rock. You're a star-born creature of will and wonder. And the moment you reclaim that, the whole house of lies starts to shake. That's the pressure. That's the imposter syndrome. At the top, it's not the good guys who win. It's not the hardest working. It's the ones who don't flinch when the blade hits the bone. You guys get that? You're playing Monopoly. They're playing Risk. You're hoping for a fair game. Like they'll finally understand. They're betting on your belief in fairness. So wake up. The world isn't ruled by capital. You think it's ruled by this money thing, right? Using a 5D element to try to control a 3D thing, right? That's uncalibrated. It's ruled by the capacity for cruelty, by whose hands are dirtier, by whose teeth are sharper, right? Because you can make a lot of money. Someone who's just more raw, more aggressive will take it from you. So you're out here thinking wars are for profit. They're for control of your spirit, your future, your children's mindscape, right? This is a ritual of domination. And you are not here to be dominated. Okay? Harry Potter wasn't given to you for magic, right? It was Expelliarmus, right? To keep you weak, bro. That's not real magic, right? Real magic is change work, metaphysics. It's not about the money. It's not about the message. It's about breaking your will even before you step onto the field. So here's the heresy they don't want whispered outside their temples. It only takes 2,000 lines to flip a kingdom. And we're at 5K on this channel or more, right? So the revolution doesn't start with the masses. It starts with the madmen and the madwomen, right? Willing to burn the script. Remember, the most dangerous prayer is not save me. The most dangerous prayer is send me. So are you still playing nice, or are you ready to pick up the sword that you were born to carry? Okay. You're not crazy. You're correct. You're correct, actually. Evil does exist, and it's organized. But don't let somebody use that as a scare tactic, like, oh, that's satanic. Stay away from that, right? Use your discernment. Forget gaslighting yourself into thinking, oh, this is too dark. This can't be real. Yes, it can. Okay, yes, it can. Ritual abuse, inversion symbolism, blood magic. These are all real things, okay? This is not some horror movie that you're part of. No, it's embedded in the power systems. You got to stay awake, right? The second belief is like, porn isn't harmless. It's just fine, you know? Dude, that's a gateway drug to soul decay. I've been through years of that addiction. It's not about being approved. I'm not about that life. But this rewires your brain worse than heroin. It hijacks your imagination, it weakens your life force, and makes you so easy to manipulate, right? Why do you think so many men are going on OnlyFans, right? That pipeline goes from vanilla porn to extreme porn, and degenerate kinks become more and more and more real, more normalized. Nobody stays on the homepage, okay? Nobody stays on the homepage, okay? So ritual abuse is about breaking innocence, right? I don't know if I'm supposed to be saying any of this, guys. I might be banned. Okay, if I get shot tomorrow, guys, you know, it was from this video, okay? I'm not speaking that into reality either. I'm just knowing, okay? Ritual abuse is about breaking innocence, prostitute magic, virgin magic. There's a reason why the dark arts use polarity rituals, right? Virgin on one side, whore on the other. It's a metaphysical engineering to fracture the purity, to siphon energy through desecration. Know the game. Hypnosis is magic. Magic is hypnosis. It's the same thing. NLP, that's magic. Okay, advertising. Congratulations, you already believe in mind control, because the deeper levels, don't need words. They need intent plus focus. You know, I was watching a video by, I think it was Peter Crone or whatever, and he was saying to this woman that you're calling your husband a 50-year-old like man child or young child or whatever she called him, right? And already in her frame of mind, she's manifesting that reality with the way that she perceives her husband. Do you guys get this? So she's creating the morphic field around him. Now, what if she changed her idea of him as a protector, right? Like, what if she started to actually see him as a guardian of the light? Wouldn't that change the dynamic of the relationship just through perception alone? This is my question to people, right? So this is the thing. Intent plus force equals transmission. But most people are hypnotized into compliance daily. They're told to be compliant daily, right? So it's not just us versus them because they eat their own, okay? There's no neat little Illuminati club where they all get along. There's so many versions of Illuminati, right? You know what I mean? So these predators, they betray, they kill, they even rape each other constantly, right? Trigger warning, right? Or whatever. But chaos is their currency. So stop imagining it as a movie villain cabal. It's way messier, right? It's more psychopathic than that. Deep fake porn is digital ritual abuse because your image is being violated without consent. Isn't that modern sorcery? Isn't that what it is? It's etheric violation. It's not tech, you can do anything with technology. But now black magic doesn't even wear robes. It writes codes, guys. You get this? So when people laugh at suffering, watch very closely. The laugh of a predator always slips out. That mask slipping, that's the beast grinning through their teeth. Especially watch out for the virtue signalers. Their cruelty leaks out in their jokes. Remember this. Remember this video. Come back to this, okay? So detach from the NPC porn. The organ harvesting is real, but blood harvesting is a conspiracy. Stop playing mental twister. If you believe in organ trafficking but can't imagine blood or adrenal harvesting, then you're still half asleep, right? Evil doesn't stop where your discomfort begins. It's not about fear. It's about clarity, staying sharp and sober. Your conviction is your armor. The clearer your heart, the stronger your field. The more sovereign your energy, the less they can touch you. No demon survives in the house of radical self-respect, right? So use this as fuel, not fetish. Know that the darkness is not about bathing in it. It's about outshining it. You don't fight monsters by becoming one. This lady said, oh, I roll around in demons. No, I'm a fire walker. There's a big difference. I know how to walk the fire and not get burned and come back to the other side with the elixir of life. You fight by being undeniably radiant, by holding a field, a flow state that is so bright that they start to choke on their own shadows. Okay? So, Uncle Makara, I feel like an imposter. I'm doing all the work and the clients are loving it and the results are showing up. And inside, I just feel dead inside. I feel like a shaky little bamboo shoot, I'm just telling myself I'm not enough and I should do more and I should be better and I should just be superhuman. But all I'm hearing is, and I say to you, okay, the sweetest trap of them all, the seduction of trying not to be human. Now listen carefully. Listen carefully here, because I know it says God's in training. But even Enoch became Metatron, right? Even God sent one of his in the flesh, Jesus. So you think you're supposed to transcend your wounds before you're allowed to serve? The cosmic joke is your wound is the womb of your medicine. You beat yourself up for feeling inadequate, But who told you inadequate was even a problem? Who programmed that little voice that keeps disqualifying your brilliance? Maybe parents did, right? They planted the seed. They told you you'd grow up to be a loser. So you took that poison and you did what any beautiful, loving, hungry for acceptance little human would do. You hustled to prove him or her wrong. You polished your halo, you stacked your credentials, you gathered gold stars like they were shield against shame. But when you hustle to prove you're not a loser, you are still dancing to their drumbeat. The enemy outside becomes the enemy within. Stay vigilant. The virus installs yourself in your I am. And so you build your business from that I am. From the energy beneath it. I'm not enough, but maybe if I do more, maybe if I learn more, maybe if I help more, I'll finally be enough. That's desperation, right? That's not devotion. Self-rejection wrapped in a wizard's robe. But here's the thing, here's the twist. You're not here to fix yourself, you're here to remember yourself. The imposter isn't you. The imposter is the story you inherited about who you had to become to be lovable. That's the imposter syndrome. So let me be the first to rip that mask off your face and shout it so the whole astral plane hears, you are not a loser. You have never been a loser. You cannot become what you never were. You are a wild, radiant, divine being who got gaslit by circumstance. You don't need another certificate. You don't need another program. You need to forgive yourself for ever believing you had to be anything other than you already are. And let me tell you about, the truth about business. Your clients don't need your perfection. They need your presence. They need to feel your aliveness that you're giving from your soul, not just this wordy, heady place. They need to meet the part of you that has kissed the dark, survived it, and still walks with grace. So stop asking how to fix your business. How do I fix my relationship? Ask, how can I free myself? Because when you free yourself, you become a Flomo sapient. Your business will become the echo of that freedom. Because you're like, welcome home, little one. You're right on time, right? You start respecting the inner child. You start reparenting the inner child. Okay? Not just good like, oh, I just had a nice smoothie good. I mean, soul on fire, laughing at the matrix, untouchably high frequency good. Okay? Because every time I peel off another air of this bullshit crust society, try to bake into my spirit, I feel lighter. I feel freer. I get louder. And here's what Uncle Makara, hot off the presses, has to tell you today. The ones who criticize you, the ones who got all those strong opinions about how you live, how you should think, how you should, dress, how you should bow, how you should submit. Ask them 3 questions, I dare you. Where'd you get that perspective? Right? Where'd you get that perspective? Who told you that that was true about me? And have they ever tested it against their own direct experience? Spoiler alert, they haven't. They're just hand-me-down mannequins in a line of parrots repeating what their mama said, what their teacher barked, and the talking heads on their flat screen hypnotized them into. But you are here. You are listening to this transmission, which means the flame's already lit inside you. And let me drop this on your sacred skull real quick. Most people, they've never met an actual free human. Not in real life, not in their workplace, not on the dinner table. Maybe 1, okay, maybe 2. Maybe 3, but probably only through a screen. So if you're ever feeling lonely in your clarity, good. That's proof that you're seeing something real. The herd moves in circles. The sovereign moves through portals. Okay. They will tell you, respect your elders. Okay, respect your elders. Listen to your parents. Always honor your teacher. Okay. Well, what if the elders were cowards, right? And what if the parents were wounded and they never had healed? And what if the teacher was the dumbest mofo in that room, right? So respect is not a birthright. Respect is earned in alignment by truth, by courage, by you living with integrity. Don't let somebody's title or age or their little podium fool you into submission. You know what I mean? Too many people, they say, oh, he looks good, he sounds good, it must be good. No, okay. What's the soul saying? What are you feeling afterwards? What's the energetic impulse? What's the undeniable aura about them? See, they're not mad at you because you're wrong. They're mad at you because you're free. And your freedom reminds them of the chains that they still wear, but they don't pretend to see. So here's the real gift that I came to deliver to you today. If the masses will start clapping for you, you got to check yourself. Because if the zombies start agreeing with your gospel, double check your notes, right? Because the moment the blind approve of your vision, it's probably a sign that you've blurred your own sight in some way, okay? Uncle Makara, aren't you a little bit full of yourself? I'm not full of myself. I'm full of life, full of earned knowing. I don't need their applause. I don't even need their permission slips. Hell, I don't even have to do these live videos, right? I'm not here to fit in. I'm not here to, be fit into their molds. I'm here to ignite and liberate, and I'm here to remind you of the untamed wildfire that you are behind all of that inherited dust. So drink your damn water, okay? Because it's brain fuel. Stand up straighter. Speak your truth, even if your voice quivers. And remember, the majority has always been the biggest fool in the room. History proves it. The body knows it. Okay, if I muscle test it, says it's yes. And your soul's just been screaming, right? So just be kind, be fierce, and stay strange. Stay consistent with your greatness, my friends. Don't be holy in one room and a clown in the other. Be who the hell you are everywhere. Otherwise, you're just a poser with better lighting, right? And here's why I turned on the camera today, okay? Because I recognize there are people watching me, artists, maybe future celebrities, poets, magicians, future Teslas, right? So I understand the value exchange. I get it. So a lot of my students are on the rise. You know what I mean? The higher they fly, the louder the snakes hiss, though, right? The hate comes in, ooh, right? Sama saw a lot of my old hate, right? Oh man. He just likes to read a lot of books. Okay, that's what she said. Okay. It comes real cute, real predictable. But it's not about the actual music or the craft. They can't touch that. Okay. So they jab at his drip or whatever, right? His swagger, his look. Classic weak sauce, right? The critics always come for the surface because they can't touch the substance. Because let's face it, ain't nobody out here throwing shade at nobody's, right? You're welcome, brother. I'm glad. I'm glad. You're here for a reason, man. Yeah, tapped in. Nobody roasts the guy sitting at home playing Xbox, hoping the universe notices his DMs, right? I don't care about that. I'm not going to roast him. They come for the ones who shine. If they're not criticizing your art, but your face or your body or some like little, you're like your vibe. Congratulations, okay? You just trigger their unresolved self-loathing. You're the walking proof that their excuses are trash, that their reasons for staying small don't hold weight in the presence of your radiance. They hate you because you showed up to the race they were too scared to enter. Simple math. Jealousy is untapped potential and bitterness. And I click on these people's profiles, you know, no profile picture, dry, a wasteland of zero creativity, zero charisma, zero pulse. And you know what the truly great ones do when they see someone shining? They clap, they take a bow. My good sir, I see you. I see you. Keep winning, right? They say, hell yes, go harder. The small souls, they'll bite your ankles like the gremlins that they are, hoping that you flinch. Okay, maybe this will trigger him. So here's the medicine right between the eyes. Stop trying to win over the wounded. Stop explaining your shine to the blind. Don't feed these swine, these pearls. Let them choke on their opinions. Let them form committees around you. You stay on a mission. You are not here to play defense. You are here to build temples out of your own fire. And let me remind you, the crucified have always been the chosen. Socrates, Jesus, Galileo, Malcolm, Tesla. Okay, I can keep going. The list is really long. But you're in legendary company. So wear their hate like a crown. May their envy keep your aura moisturized. Because here at Primal Sutra, we don't crumble under criticism. We alchemize it. Okay? I've been criticized my entire life. I don't care for it. I sip it like wine and toast. And to the weaklings that can't do what we do, they keep talking, they keep yapping. But we stay blessed, stay dangerous, we stay unapologetically ourselves. You know, I watched the Eckhart Tolle channeling. I mean, speak on channeling. He wasn't channeling himself. I mean, he's channeling presence, right? So he called channeling like all one consciousness. Even if you're tapping into an ET's energy, it's still all one consciousness, which is really interesting, you know? And I love Eckhart's, you know, emphasis on presence. That's respect. It's rare these days to find a being who can just sit in the fire of silence, you know, without wanting to reach for the nearest distraction. But let me tell you something, okay? From one paradox walker to another, the river doesn't brag about its flow. The lightning doesn't explain its strike. The rain still channels the clouds, right, brother? So if Eckhart Tolle said, I do not feel, it is a being speaking through me, that's noble, that's beautiful. Direct line to source. But here's the twist. Who said it has to feel like another? Sometimes, you know, the current uses names like Vaiwamus or Odin or, you know, a Thoth. Sometimes as a grandmother whispering through your bones. Sometimes it's so close to your own breath, you mistake it for yourself. But it's all one cosmic radio, right? The difference is only which dial you're tuned into, not which song it's for. So Eckhart Tolle may have thrown out the concept of intermediaries, but sometimes the one consciousness masks for play, for precision, right? For poetry, not to bypass presence, but to dance with it. Do the planets not align themselves into constellations to tell stories across the night sky? Don't the waves crash in rhythms that become music to the shore? Right? And I know I'm speaking in a poetic language, but this is poetry at its purest form. We're not speaking about ego inflation, right? I agree. Yes, some channelers, they're just running their own unhealed parts on their puppet strings and it's speaking through them, right? Their own ego is being channeled. That's just a problem with lack of discernment. That's, you know, the same with not every meditation is true stillness, right? Not every channeling is a true reception. This is why we have experimental channelings where I step in and I actually tell you guys, yo, this is experimental, guys, right? Just watch it, just observe it, just learn what you can, right? So the question is not whether to channel, but whether the channel is clear, right? Whether the vessel is humble enough to admit this isn't about me, I'm just listening, right? Some of us were born with the curse and a blessing of a crowded upstairs, right? Saints, weird trickster beings, aliens knocking on the attic door, you know, knocking on your crown chakra. Sometimes it's not about seeking them. It's just about finally admitting that they've been there the whole time, rearranging the furniture in there. Just stay sharp, you know, stay yours in the liminal. Okay. Now, I want to speak about some concepts like loss and grief. So you didn't lose them if you lost someone deeply close to you in your life. They died. Really grasp that lesson, right? These are things coming through the nexus right now. So just listen. Loss is a story, okay? Death is just what happens. But loss is the suffering we choose to stay tangled in that same narrative. So form comes and leaves. Love remains. Your wound is not their absence. The wound is your attachment to the idea that they were supposed to stay the whole time. Okay? So grief is love in a different outfit. Really sit with that. It's not the enemy. It's just your love trying to figure out where it wants to go and the body's gone. So stop fighting grief. I see too many people fighting it. Invite it to tea. Ask it what it came to teach you. Okay? We're not just victims of circumstance, guys. We're victims of perspective. Write that one on your forehead, right? Write that one on a bumper sticker. Plaster it on. We're victims of perspective. It isn't about what happens to you. It's what you name it. So the real pandemic is bad storytelling. Fear will break its own heart. Fear will break its own heart. The thing you're terrified to lose, fear makes you cling to it, right? It makes you grasp. It makes it suffocate the very thing that you love. And in doing so, you become an architect of your own heartbreak. So being right is the poor man's version of self-worth. Oof. Let that sting a little. Being right is the poor man's version of self-worth. You're not here to be right. You're here to be real. Rightness is a cheap suit. Truth is naked and unapologetic. Unapologetic, right? The brain wants to predict and protect, but life doesn't owe you a script. Your craving for certainty is your cage. Uncertainty is the enemy to you, whereas it's actually a portal. Real freedom is saying, I don't know, and I love that. I don't know, and I'm good with that. I don't know, and let's go then. Not I don't know, and that's a problem. I don't know, and I should solve it. I don't know, right? It's how you are saying I don't know. Don't know, and I don't care. Zoom out. Zoom in, zoom out, right? The brain wants to predict and protect. So if you're not telling the truth, everything is a subtle form of a lie. Really chew on that one, right? If your mouth isn't matching your marrow, okay, you're leaking power in some way. So you're wearing a mask so long that you forgot your own damn face. Like, who's the real one, right? Who's the real one that shows up? I know I pretend to be a lot of guys, but who's the real dude? Who's the authentic power that's just invisible in these hidden realms, right? So manipulation, what it is just love with a leash. Anytime you love to get something, anytime you're giving has a hook, that's not love. That's bargain shopping with the divine. Okay. Don't fight for your limitation and call it humility. Don't fight for your limitation and call it humility. That's humility hypnosis. Hey there, babe. Stop calling it expensive, call it expansive, right? Money's not the block. Your identity is the block. There's a big difference between being humble and being hypnotized by your own, by being small, shrinking, right? I appreciate the hearts. Freedom is not doing whatever you want. Freedom is the power to choose. Most people, they don't choose. They just react, they cope, they survive. But choosing is the artist's way. That's the divine play, right? So the game isn't about who's nice, it's about who's willing to get their hands dirty. The elites, they can print infinity money, right? Infinity. Paper gods on paper people, right? But let me ask you this. If a wolf comes in, the wolf will take that money, right? The violent man will eat first. Thank you, babe. I'm ending it very shortly. So the billionaires own the cops, the judges, the sheriffs, the everything. So it's not the hardest working, okay? We have to understand this because this is the only way that we're going to actually take the power back. Now, I want to end by saying something, okay? Cognitive dissonance is a gateway drug. So when what is and what is not shake hands, the brain short circuits. Your ego starts calling HR, hello? But your soul just smiles because it remembers. The tension between opposites, what alchemists call the coincidenta oppositorum or whatever, right? Is not a glitch, right? It's a doorway. It's the Janus point, okay? It's the 0 point axis where alien and angel swap masks and wink at you, okay? So the ego is not the driver, it's the roadblock, okay? It's the calcareous knot of a tumorous tissue. Your ego's job is to lock it into survival matrix. It can't dream, it can't dance, it can't spiral. The ego wants straight lines and credit scores. But the mystery moves in spirals and waves, it flows, right? So the ego's got to soften, melt a little bit, like ghee on a warm chapati, okay? So when I was listening to Terence McKenna and he was saying that psychedelics are like the siren song, not the savior, I got very excited, right? Because he's really saying, bro, remember who you are. He's not telling you to take psilocybin, right? He's saying, remember who you are. Those are just reminders. Those are just catalysts. They don't even give you the map. They just hand you a mirror. You see? So return to the archaic, not as colonizers, but as humble students. The archaic people are waiting for us to get on the train so the train can depart. Not to use them, but to remember with them, because the medicine isn't new. The medicine is ancient, right? The medicine is we are one family under the stars. So we're either going to learn how to be a human again, or we're going to bury ourselves in our own cleverness. Humility is just an unlock code. Curiosity is the key. Imagination is and integration is the journey, right? Like key on the warm chapati. Yeah, exactly. No more centric enlightenment. All right, egocentric enlightenment. No more, spiritual flex. No more ayahuasca tourism with a selfie stick. Say, just come correct, man. Come human. That's the rap, man. I don't think I can speak any more on this, but SLW just showed up. So maybe I must just say, stay strange, man. Stay sacred. Stay soft like water. Hey. Okay, remain in that innocence, remain in that pocket. How do you guys like this background, by the way, right? It's like Shambhala mixed with, I don't know. Like I thought it's Skanda's temple or something, right? With the peacock feathers and all this. Um, but yeah, I like how it's glitching back and forth like this. Hopefully, this is not too hypnotic for you guys and it's actually entertaining. Thank you so much for tapping in. Much love to all of you. May the flow be with you. Stay legendary. We are unstoppable right now. We are Primal Sutra. Come and find out about us. Join our Telegram group. Shout out to everybody listening. Hey, Ferris, Samba, Ellie, man, SLW. Let's go. Upward Spiral Gang. May we never be the same again. Peace. Thank you, Samba. Peace. Much love, guys. Let's get it. Let's get it.